Joining us now is Ojinika Okpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Jinex.
Good morning, Dr.
How
Abati.
are you?
Doing excellent. How are you?
You are doing well.
Doing well
in
too.
Mr. Macaroni's voice.
I love it. Good morning, Tundu Abiola.
Morning.
How are you? Good morning. Good morning, Rufai. I heard you commenting Dr. Abati's tie. Yours is beautiful too.
Thank you.
How are you this morning?
Doing all right.
Perfect.
Pushing.
Well, good morning to you, viewers. Here are some of the stories that are trending across the globe. In the United States, authorities issued its first passport with an X-gender designation, marking a milestone in recognition of the rights of people who do not identify as male or female. Dan Azim, an intersex activist who has been in a legal battle with the State Department to obtain a gender-neutral passport since 2015, admitted that he had finally received his passport on Wednesday. In North Korea, amid food shortages, Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un on Wednesday warned citizens that they must expect to eat less food until the country reopens its border with China in 2025. The remark has caused outrage in the country, with many complaining that it will be difficult to survive through the winter, let alone multiple years. In Sudan, days after the military overthrew the civilian-led transitional government in a coup, the African Union on Wednesday suspended the country from all its activities. In a tweet, the Pan-African body said the suspension will be in place until the effective restoration of the transitional authority. Under sports, British-Nigerian heavyweight boxer Anthony Joshua finally broke his silence after a devastating defeat to Ukraine's Alexander Usyk last month. In an interview with IFL TV, the 31-year-old former heavyweight champion says he is ready to fight anyone, including Deontay Wilder, and accepted the offer for Tyson Fury to train him next year in preparation for his rematch with the current heavyweight champion.
If he takes no money for it, I don't know if he's after a quid or two.
He said he'd do it for free, I think.
Yeah, mate, Kobo, he's more than welcome to come through the doors. No, he can even spar with me as well. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I need a coach that's lived it, breathed it, so it'll be perfect.
Finally, under entertainment, Okuko, the bronze cockerel looted from Benin in the 19th century in what has been described as a momentous occasion, was returned to Nigerian authorities on Wednesday by the Jesus College, which became the first British institution to give back one out of many looted artifacts known as the Benin Bronzes.
Today is a moment of mixed emotions. We're all thrilled at seeing this day arrive, when the bronze is finally returning home. But we're also painfully aware of having deprived its rightful owners for so long of its presence, and we offer our heartfelt apologies for this historic wrong.
Well, let's begin what's trending. Barely 48 hours after the launch of E-naira, Nigeria's digital currency, the Central Bank of Nigeria raised the alarm that imposters are already defrauding people using fake social media handles. In a statement on Wednesday, the Apex Bank revealed the Twitter handle at E-naira CBDC purported to belong to the bank as fraudulent, and warned that the bank does not engage in Twitter activities since the Bird app was banned by the federal government. Well, in another development, social media was abuzz on Wednesday following reports that the E-naira Speed wallet disappeared from Google Play Store after 100,000 downloads. CBN claimed that the Speed wallet disappeared because an upgrade was needed, and disclosed that they won't bear the liability for losses caused by the E-naira website. Well, I'll take a Twitter reaction from Aye Mojuba, who wrote, CBN has everything at their disposal to make E-naira work. They have access to APIs from telcos, switches, NIBSS, and banks, nepotistic software architect, dev team, QAs, and untested third-party Bit Inc. This shouldn't happen in a country that has InterSwitch, Flutterwave, and Paystack. Well, another user wrote, Google Play Store has deleted the E-naira wallet due to multiple complaints and low rating. I expect the federal government to tell us that the mission of Google Play Store in Nigeria is suspect and ban Google Play Store, or else I'll be so disappointed. I thought that was such a cheeky tweet. I was laughing when I read that. But I mean, it was such a big deal yesterday when, the reports were circulating that the speed, the speed wallet had disappeared from the Google Play Store because of an upgrade. So
with tech, you have false starts. But the truth is, they delayed the launch, so I thought they should have tested it properly.
Fixed it, yeah.
So two things I'll say. They have to go back to the drawing board. If possible, I know they have a deal with Bit, whatever. They should task the company more to do more. And that's why I keep going back to using Nigerian companies. There are Nigerian companies that are developing good APIs, Paystack, Flutterwave, all those guys. There's InterSwitch there are the telcos there. You could build a proper architecture that will not crash. So please, they should go back to the drawing board and fix whatever bugs they need to fix. Somebody tested it yesterday. I tried testing it too. I saw a lot of error messages. The error messages are too much. So it still shows that you could go back and test the infrastructure again and the architecture. It can work. It is tech, but you need to iterate and test. The CBN has everything to make this E-naira succeed.
Yes.
They should use it. Secondly, you see why we say people should go on ban Twitter? I don't see any reason why we are still blocking Twitter. Because Twitter is a free space for social communication. You have millions of Nigerians on Twitter. Unblock it so that you'll be able to tackle fraudulent things like this. It is because you've blocked Twitter. Government agency can't be on Twitter. That's why this guy can take an advantage with VPN.
Can you imagine that?
Only God knows how many people he has fleeced off their money with that, and he's making smooth business. So unblock Twitter so that the CBN will have a representation of Twitter to be able to tackle fraudulent cases like this. It's as simple as ABC. With technology, you have cases like this. You will have false starts. But if they go back to the drawing board, I improve upon it, and they are transparent with Nigerians about the challenges that are being faced here, it can work. But they need to go back, if possible, include Nigerian tech engineers into the infrastructure development of this and the architecture. Be transparent with Nigerians about the challenges they are facing, and try as much as possible to build confidence again. That's the way to go. And please, unblock Twitter.
Again,
unblock
Twitter. Unblock Twitter.
Unblock Twitter. Honestly.
Well, the devil works hard, but scammers work harder.
Yes.
Already, that is quite shocking.
Yes.
But it's good that CBN was monitoring and have come out with this statement. But like you said, some people might already have been scammed before the statement came out. With regards to the sort of egg on the face of the CBN regarding the speed wallets, it's most unfortunate. But I did check the App Store, the Play Store, and BitInk's Dcash app is still up for Barbados. So I know that eventually they'll sort out our E-naira situation and we'll be fine. It's just one of those embarrassing false starts like you called it. But the other issue is the issue of liability.
Yes, that was a big issue.
What are they expecting?
Why?
Are they expecting that many complaints? That does not really inspire confidence. They need to take a second look at that, I'd say.
Yes, absolutely. Dr. Martin.
Okay, my view is as follows. There are two wallets. There is the speed wallet,
And the business.
which is for ordinary users, which is supposed to help you, transact, your affairs digitally in a very speedy manner. That's the one that has problems. That's the one that disappeared. That's the one that failed. And at the end of the day, even in terms of the rating, we're told that out of 2,150 reviews, it was rated at 2.0, which is not really impressive enough. Many of the persons who tried to sign up to it faced a lot of difficulties. The way you can rationalize that is to say that, well, this is new. It was launched on Monday, and now we have seen these difficulties. It will be the responsibility of the central bank that has launched this platform to make sure that they correct the errors. I had made the point before now that there's nothing, no matter how well-intentioned, that you will launch in Nigeria, that Nigerians will not try to compromise. That may be a way of demarketing Nigeria, but it happens. We know, whether it's NIN or whatever at all, driver's license, whatever you try, there will be people who are trying to game the system beat the system, because there's this mentality in Nigeria that you can always compromise anything. Then there is a merchant wallet. Now, no problem has been reported with that yet. We're told that over 10,000 merchants have subscribed to that, and that is working. So one aspect of the wallet is working. Another aspect is not working. Its rating is low. But how quickly will they address it? That is where the challenge is. The other issue, of course, has to do with the alarm that has been raised by the Central Bank of Nigeria, that some people are already trying to use the platform to defraud people. There's a certain handle, a Twitter handle
that's what I
called at E-naira dot whatever, cdc.gov, and the Central Bank has disowned it. That, look, don't just go there, it doesn't belong to us. Well, I find that curious, because when the whole of this thing was announced, when it was launched on Monday, we saw Godwin Emefiele on television when he was asked a question about whether this thing could lead to fraud. What are the risks involved? And he was very confident in saying, no, this is risk-free. There will be no fraud. Nobody can compromise this system. And that was why when Andrew Nevin of PricewaterhouseCoopers came on the program, I asked him, I said, look, is this thing really risk-free? And he too was very supportive of those affirmations by the central bank governor. In less than 72 hours, we have seen that, in fact, this is not risk-free. So sometimes when public officials make statements, they should make sure that they are on terra firma and not just make, statements just to encourage people without being sure of what actually they are saying. However, how has the central bank addressed that? In the statement that they issued, they've put a caveat emptor on this, their innovative digital currency, which is to say, buyer beware. So what all of us need to do as CBN says is that we should be wary. They've given out their own specific handle. They have said there is a helpline, even a phone number that you can call. They have said that, look, if you suspect anything, just double check and don't just take whatever is made available to you, hook, line, and sinker. And that was why previously I had made a point that the CBN needs to do a lot more in terms of educating people, informing people, and making it possible for people to understand what this new regime is. So it's just 72 hours going forward. So there's more than enough time to invest more in public enlightenment and to ensure that the omissions, the glitches that have been observed are corrected and addressed.
Well said, Dr. Abati. We'll take another story. Now, we often hear the saying that the profession of journalism is a public and social occupation. That was what our ARISE correspondent, Adefemi Akinsanya, displayed when she covered the first anniversary of the End SARS protest on October 20th. In the face of police brutality, Adefemi stood courageous to defend her profession and has been hailed for her bravery by many Nigerians, including the management of ARISE News. And yesterday, she received a package from Modion Communications commending her report. The package contained T-shirts emblazoned with an image showing her standoff with the Nigerian police and a card which says, "We stand a heroine," signed by several workers at the agency. I am so proud of Adefemi Akinsanya. It is the best thing I saw yesterday. She came to my house with a package. We're definitely going to use it, but this is bravery at its best.
Yes.
Tundu Abiola, I've been itching to tell her story, really.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw her on Sunday, OG, what did I do when I saw Adefemi? I went like that.
Bow down.
Bow down.
Bow down.
Camera, what are you doing? You have to show my bow to royalty. Show the bow to royalty. Thank you very much.
Bow down.
I had to.
Yes.
Such courage in the face of despicable tyranny.
Yes.
That is, of course, after I got over the shock of what I was actually watching and the fact that it could easily have gone left. We have to be very thankful that it didn't. Yes.
Absolutely.
And I also had to hail Okpe, Modion, Yusuf, I haven't seen Shaitan yet. I will hail her too. I mean, they really outdid themselves. And it just, especially because after that, she continued reporting from the scene. She didn't collapse in a heap.
Absolutely.
Peak professionalism.
Absolutely. Well, for our viewers who haven't seen this video, let's take a look.
We are live. We are actually live. We can't just bring it. I don't think that's happened. Officer. Please, you are holding guns and you are coming. No. Stand back from me, please. Bring it down.
Let them bring it down.
You're pushing against me. Step back. Step back from me. Move it. I'll drop my hand when you step back. Let go of it. 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 Let go of it.
What did I do? I also have my ID card. What did I do?
And that was our cameraman, Okpe, who was pulling Adefemi back. He was so courageous as well. You know, they were trying to take him away, and Adefemi stood still.
Like I said yesterday, I'm peacock proud of Adefemi.
Yes.
I'm super proud.
Yes.
And it is time that people learn to stand up more for themselves in this country.
Absolutely.
We can't keep keeping quiet.
Absolutely.
And I remember we had somebody on that day that said, oh, allegedly, maybe Adefemi was not reporting correctly when she first broke the story that she was harassed.
Oh, yes.
And I remember we had to
that.
challenge on her and said, no, our journalists can't lie here.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're really proud of about them. Brave one, Adefemi. And I think this is a story that should be told all around the world. Mm-hmm. That in the face of a lot of tyranny, in the face of subjugation, we have a woman standing up.
Our warrior queen.
Our warrior queen.
Dr. Bass, your comment.
Well, first, let me commend Modion Communications.
Yes.
For, their celebration of Adefemi Akinsanya. They've done very well, and that's a lesson to all journalists that, look, as a journalist, you take a public examination every day, whether you are writing a copy or you are, appearing at a public event or you are on television. I hope the sound is not overriding what I'm saying. Now, so, we take a public examination every day, and this is a job. People will tell you that, look, it's not a job that brings money. It's a job that requires courage and determination. And not just in Nigeria, but also internationally. The Committee to Protect Journalists, which is an international agency, the CPJ, reports on an annual basis the kind of dangers, that journalists face, whether they are reporting conflict or they are reporting national situations, or they are even doing ordinary stories. And over the years, we have found journalists who have been able to stand up and insist on the truth. And I think it's quite gratifying to have in-house a young lady like Adefemi Akinsanya, who showed great courage there, supported also by the other members of the team who have been properly identified by Tundum. The whole of this problem is that the relationship between the Nigerian state and the media has always been adversarial. The people who manage information processes in Nigeria are usually very ignorant. They talk nonsense. They don't know the role of the media in the country. They think that journalists are enemies. However, the simple point, as explicated in Section 22 of the 1999 Constitution and upheld in Section 39 of the same Constitution, is that the media is a partner in the governance process. That's why it's called the fourth estate of the realm. Mm-hmm. Now, if people at the level of policy are so ignorant, then of course, the uniform people at all levels, they will replicate it. Mm-hmm. When they see a journalist holding a camera or holding a pen or sitting down where I'm sitting, they think that you are a problem. And I think that going forward, we have to make sure that, we do a lot more to educate, policy persons and government people for them to understand that the media is not an enemy, even if there is an adversarial structure that is historical since 1859. So this is where the issue is. And I think that Adefemi Akinsanya and the others in the team, they deserve a lot more. And they can be assured of the support of ARISE News.
Yes.
Because our job is to tell the truth, to say it as it is, no matter whose ox is God.
Yeah. So
But can I just say,
Yes.
I want to buy that T-shirt. That's a T-shirt you should buy for $27. Not like the one you had yesterday. I want that
was a
T-shirt.
gift. I think we should replicate it for
Yeah.
everyone. Should we
I
do
think
that?
we should
Yes,
replicate it, and I think
absolutely.
if everybody
Let's do
out
that.
there, watching us, should get that T-shirt.
Yes.
Stand back,
All
get
right.
off me,
It's
because
beautiful.
that's a symbol.
All right.
That's a symbol in this country.
Very well said.
Don't touch me.
Stand
back. Don't touch me.
We stand with our heroine.
Don't
All
touch
right
me.
then.
Stand back.
We'll take our final story. Following the threat issued by the Indigenous People of Biafra that it will lock down the Southeast if Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the group, is not released by November 4th, Southeastern stakeholders have called on IPOB to withdraw their threat. Ohanaeze Ndigbo appealed to the group on Wednesday to rescind the threat to enable the governorship election for Anambra State, scheduled for November 6th, to hold. The Biafra Customary Government, headed by Asari Dokubo, says any boycott of the elections will be fruitless and counterproductive, and called on the Nigerian government to withdraw her forces from the Southeast and to prosecute all her security personnel implicated in the extrajudicial killings of people in the Southeast. I mean, I'm in support of all of the groups calling for IPOB to stand down. They really need to stand down and take their agitation to Abuja.
Yes, the people's voices must be
Yes.
heard, and elections really should be sacrosanct.
So
We shouldn't play
important.
with our elections. But I'm not surprised by Ohanaeze Ndigbo. I mean, they've
Yes.
actually endorsed a particular candidate. So they are all for the elections going ahead full steam. I guess it remains to be seen.
Yes, it has to go ahead, especially with the
must.
security challenges.
For the
That's my
purposes-
biggest issue,
For
really.
the purposes of balance,
Yes.
however, or maybe, if you like, information.
Yes.
IPOB, speaking through Emma Powerful, has said that the organization proscribed by the Nigerian government, not proscribed in the views of members of IPOB and the people of the Southeast, has nothing to do, they claim, with all the political crisis in the Southeast.
Yes.
And that IPOB is not even behind, any sit-at-home order, even if the position in that regard may appear to be contradictory. IPOB, through Emma Powerful, issued a release the other day to say they are interested in the restoration of Biafra. So part of the problem, however, may be these contradictory statements, as we have seen from IPOB. But the Nigerian state also has a counter-responsibility, which is to ensure peace and order and refuse to be intimidated or overwhelmed by non-state actors. And I think it's in that regard that the Nigerian state says it will deploy over 34,000 policemen and other security forces. And the National Security Advisor, General Munguno, has also made it very clear that nobody can overwhelm the security of the Nigerian state. So the fear for ordinary people like us is that the November 6th gubernatorial election in Anambra is likely to be something of a battlefield. And I think it's good enough that Ohanaeze Ndigbo is appealing to IPOB to say, look, we must move on because we're still part of Nigeria and the election must take place. If the election does not take place, the implication is that the tenure of the governor will be extended. The Constitution says 6 months. Or a state of emergency could be declared. Would that be of interest? Will it be useful to the people of Anambra State? Those are those other
have 30
considerations.
seconds really quickly.
For me, most importantly in all of this is the human cost. There is nothing that worths the life of a human being.
Absolutely.
Once we start to kill, then it's a slippery slope. I'd like to plead to all the stakeholders. IPOB is saying, no, we're not doing this. Politicians are accusing themselves. A batch of politicians came yesterday. They accused a certain person for the insecurity. Today, some accuse the others for the insecurity in the state. Whoever is doing this in Anambra State, in India, Anambra, should stop.
Yeah.
Let people have the elections. Let their voices be heard. Let's deepen the democratic process. And let's keep speaking about where we feel marginalized. There is a place for conversation, but there is no place for violence
All right.
and bloodshed.
Well, thank you all for your beautiful analysis. As always, you have a
Thank
smirk
you.
on your face. Well, that's all I have for you on What's Trending today. I'll see you tomorrow.